Welcome to the Pitch Perfect Flesh and Blood podcast, a podcast that aims to educate, inspire, and support the female community in Flesh and Blood. We are your hosts. I am Elaine, and we have Melody here with us.
Kia ora.
We're really excited that you're here joining us today. This week, we have just kind of like a fun episode to help you guys get to know us a little bit better. We have some fun questions prepared, but first, we're gonna do a quick announcement, and then we'll go into talking about our week in Flesh and Blood, and then we'll move on to the main topic of today. So the announcement is very exciting. It's that the Pitch Perfect Pod Discord is live. So if you're not on there already, you can go find it. Both Melody and I have shared it on our Twitter, and it's also on the Pitch Perfect Pod's Twitter. So go get in there. We already have like a good amount of people in there, and we've had a few games fire off already, which has been exciting to see. And the Exude Confidence channel has gotten some support today. I don't know if you've had a chance to check that out yet, Melody, because I know you just woke up. But yeah,
Yes.
it was Mara Blackwing Studio sent a message in the general chat about hyping up Flake today, and I was like, yes, everyone, please share the love in the community, but also if you would like, you can share the love to anyone and everyone at all times in the Exude Confidence channel. And so then people started like typing stuff in there. It just made me really smiling. It made me really happy to see. I was like, oh, I love this.
Okay, I'm gonna have to go and have a look. No, I haven't seen that. So it's 6:30 here.
Yeah, it's early for Melody.
It is.
We like alternate shifts. Like I stay up really late, she wakes up really early to record, so she got the early shift, so it's like 2 p.m. for me right after lunch. But so let's talk about our weeks in Flesh and Blood. Melody, did you do anything fun in Fab this week? I know you guys had Uprising release. We still have not gotten it. It comes out tomorrow, but we had ours delayed, so you guys already have it.
We do. So it was epic. I don't know if they do it in in the US, but a lot of stores in New Zealand open till midnight, and then they stay open so people can crack boxes. So I was over in a different part of the country visiting some people, and I picked up my boxes and then raced home because I wanted to record at home and crack them. And the set is just beautiful. It is by far my favorite set for the art, and even, like, I really enjoyed the heroes. I played my first draft match, so my first ever limited, because I didn't get to do pre-release, and had a ball. It was so cool.
What did you draft?
I drafted Icelander. So now I'm an Icelander convert, and all I want to do is play Icelander. I want to play Wizard.
Isn't it crazy? Like, I did not, when I went to Las Vegas, I did not want to play Icelander. That was my first time also playing like the sealed format, and I ended up only pooling Wizard equipment. So I was like, okay, well, I'm playing Icelander. And then it's like, I don't know, she was so much fun. It took like 3 games, and I was like, I'm an Icelander convert. This is...
And you cosplay her. So
I know.
It works together.
Yeah.
And I've played against Kano and been absolutely decimated. I'm like, oh my goodness. Had a little look at it, but never really gotten into Wizard. But in draft, she was so much fun. And I actually won a game. I didn't think I was going to win anything. There was I think there was 9 of us and some really good players. And I was like, okay, cool. So definitely a convert. Had heaps of fun. Cracked, I think I've cracked 3 cases now. I bought 5. And yes. But I got a cold foil fabled in 1 case, and I got a rainbow foil fabled in another. I got loads of dragons.
The case that you opened was insane. I went and watched your video on YouTube, and I was just like, oh my gosh, Melody. She pulled all the spice out of your 1 case.
It was. I had some trouble because I didn't realize on my very first case to check the token slots. So when I had lots of technical problems, as I always do, recording. And somebody posted after I'd cracked it and said, Melody, you need to check the token slots. And I'm like, oh, maybe I'll do that in the morning. Because I was really tired. And then I went back and I checked. And I'm just, oh my God, dragons. fabled, cold foils, and just lost my mind. It was, by the time I went to bed, it was 5 a.m.
I
But
think
it
I would have
was,
stayed up all night also. I like that the like cold foils are in the token slot because when you're
yes,
drafting, you can like keep it and still draft a
yes.
card. But yeah, you have to be aware of it or you might miss out on all your good
Yeah, like
pools.
me, because I'm a fool. But so that was really cool. And other than that, I've not played. I'm just trying to think. I shifted house on the weekend, so that was my exciting week. So Uprising has been amazing, and here in New Zealand, sorry USA, by the time you see this, you'll have your cases and boxes. But it's
Yeah.
crazy. Like people are just posting their pulls, and heaps of cards are being sold. But what I've noticed is, the price was very high for a lot of cards. I think the rainbow, sorry, not the rainbow, the cold foil Marvel Dragons started at about, they started at $100, then they went to 60. I bought 3 at $60. I've lost 2 of my cards, but that's okay. And now they're down to 35, and which is great for me because I want to collect them.
Yeah.
Um, but I think once you guys in the USA start cracking them, the prices will hopefully stabilize because we're actually going to see a lot more product. Um, but it's a very accessible set. That's what I like about it. So some people are complaining that, oh my gosh, some people are getting heaps of spice, other people are not so much. But the pure amount of majestics and legendaries, the cards that people need to play that are coming out, there are huge amounts of it. So new players that come in that want to play, they're going to get cards that they actually can play with and don't have to spend a heap of money to, buy. And that's another aspect that I really like about Uprising.
Yeah, I totally agree. We haven't gotten the release here in the US yet, but I was lucky enough. I went to the Las Vegas for the world premiere, and
Yes, tell us, Elaine.
yeah, the
Sugar
Las
Shack.
Vegas was so much fun. And then, yeah, I just went to Ohio this past weekend for the 10K and the team. And on Sunday, they did like a 5K team sealed event. So got to open some Uprising, and on Saturday I played in 2 on-demand drafts. So I've cracked my fair share for someone who has not had it released yet in their country. And then also, yeah, at the Sugar Shack,
Sugar Shack.
I cracked a case with Carolina and Ethan Van Sant. So that was really fun. Yes, should we talk about the Sugar
Yeah,
Shack?
let's talk about your week in Flesh and Blood, Elaine.
Yes.
Take us through that journey.
So I really love this game so much that I ended up driving through. I like went to a wedding, and then I left from the wedding at 10 p.m. and drove through the night to Ohio. Got to Ohio about 2 p.m. So I left. And I had Luke with me, my boyfriend.
Yep.
Yeah, so I drove from 10 p.m. to 5 p.m. I mean, 10 p.m. to 5 a.m. to Ohio. And then I like woke my boyfriend up who was sleeping in the back seat. And I was like, all right, you got to drive. And then he drove from 5 p.m. to 5 a.m. to noon. And then I drove like the last 2 hours to Ohio.
How many hours was that?
It was like 15 hours was the drive.
15 hours? What?
I don't know. I'm a degenerate and I really wanted to go and play and see everyone. And it was,
That's like the top of our country to the bottom of our North Island and more.
well,
And
I mean, yeah, that's kind of what it was for us too. Like all the way from South Louisiana up to North Ohio. That's pretty much top to bottom.
you guys heard it here first. This is Elaine. She's crazy.
Yeah, yeah.
Crazy in love with our game.
Yes.
Yep.
So it was totally worth it, by the way. We had a fantastic weekend. Showed up, played. I only did 2 rounds of on-demand drafts, but I think Luke did 3 or 4 on-demand drafts, which they were like win a box on-demand drafts. So that was like really
Elaine,
fun.
what is our on demand? Can you share with
Yeah.
everyone what that is? Because I don't know what that is
So when
either.
you go to like these events and they have them usually at like SCG cons and callings and stuff, you can sign up for a draft. Like, hey, I want to draft Uprising. And they give you like a little buzzer, kind of like what you get at a restaurant to wait for your table to be
Oh, like
ready.
takeaways. Okay, yeah.
So yeah, they give you one and you just, put it in your pocket, put it in your backpack or whatever. And then once 8 people have joined, once they have enough people to draft, it starts buzzing and it makes like an
That's so
alarm
cool.
sound. And you click it, turn off the alarm, bring it, turn it in, and you're like, my buzzer went off. And then once everyone arrives, you just draft. They give you a box and you draft.
That is awesome.
So
Okay,
yeah,
I've never heard of that. Cool.
really, yeah.
No.
I did on demand at the Battle Garden. Dallas was my other time doing on demand drafts, and then this time did 2 on demand drafts, and they're fun. I don't know why I love the table buzzer. It's so fun. So I had the 2 on demand drafts on Saturday, and then Saturday night went to dinner with Carolina and Elijah and my boyfriend Luke, obviously, Ethan Van Sant, and then Jesse and Tim, 2 other guys who were staying with us in the Sugar Shack.
Mm-hmm.
Now the Sugar Shack. So my decision to go to Ohio was kind of last minute and a bit impulsive, I'll admit.
Mm-hmm.
So we were looking for somewhere, cheap, easy to stay. I knew Van Sant was going and Carolina was going. Well, and Carolina had like messaged me like, hey, if you're looking for a place to stay, just like we can find a place together. So I'm like, oh, that'd be great. Well, the closest, cheapest place we could find was this place listed. It was literally we calling it the Sugar Shack because it was listed as the Sugar Shack. Like that's what the owners of this property decided to put it out there as. And we arrive at the Sugar Shack. There's a wooden sign. It says bathroom that way, Sugar Shack this way. And we're like, okay. So we have to walk. I timed it. It was like a 4.5-5 minute walk literally through the woods to a shack. And the door handle was like a deer antler.
Oh, no.
So the bathroom, from the shack was about a 7-minute walk that way, in the opposite direction through the woods, inside a basement.
What?
So, the bathroom was
Okay, were there lights,
a bathroom,
Elaine, to light your way as
there
you
was
walked to the
lights, but
bathroom?
no, not to light. There was lights
No.
inside the bathroom, but no.
Oh,
Carolina and I
okay.
had to walk through the pitch because I was like, I'm not going to the bathroom alone, and we walked.
No.
It was dark, and we walked to the bathroom in complete darkness. We had like our phone flashlights on, but you could only see like right in front of you, but you were just shining it on the ground to make sure you didn't step on anything. But like the bush started like really making a lot of noise, and Carolina and I were like, no, we are out of here. So yeah, the Sugar Shack, it didn't have a bathroom. It didn't lock. The door didn't lock. We walked in. There was tons of taxidermy everywhere. There was also, we were welcomed by 5 dead mice on the ground. I thought, so they had already stayed at the Sugar Shack, and I thought they were playing a prank on me with the mice. I thought that Ethan, huge Leviathan, I thought that Ethan had pulled some Leviathan fun stuff from his cosplay and was like, oh, haha, look, a dead mice. We were all just sitting there talking, and then Ethan goes, where'd this dead mice come from? It points on the ground, there's a dead mice. And I was like, that's not funny. Like, you planted that there. That's not funny. And he's like, where did I get a dead mice from, Elaine? I'm like, I don't know, but that's not funny. And then Carolina looks down. She's like, there's one by my foot too. And then slowly we just started looking and noticing.
Oh, that is so
all
gross.
5 of them. And I still thought it was a joke. And then one of them like twitched, was not fully dead. And I was like, oh my God, I'm out. I think I stood on I stood on the table for like the next hour. Anyway, it was awful. If you go to Ethan Vincent's YouTube, we did a little Sugar Shack tour because we cracked a case of Uprising. Yeah. and then we went to the speakeasy, and we drafted in the speakeasy with like Dalen Mack, Flake was there, Logan, and Jordan and Abby from the Flesh and Pot, of course, were our amazing hosts, and Keith and Jacob from the Realm Games. So that was like just really a blast, and I should have just slept in the speakeasy instead of returning back to the Sugar Shack that night to go to bed, because in the morning I woke up with like hives. Another guy in our who was staying with us had a tick on him, and Ethan had termites on him. So yeah, I did not
That
sleep
is a
in the Sugar
horrible
Shack.
experience.
It was awful. Night 2, I did not stay in the Sugar Shack. That morning, I packed my bag and I took my bag to my car, and I'm like, I'm not returning here for
Good.
night 2, and I did not.
Safety first, Elaine. Safety first.
Yeah, no. Yeah, then I played in the sealed event with Luke and Ethan as my teammates. That was really fun. We lost the win it in, so I believe we finished in 5th. But it was awesome. Great weekend. So yeah, that was
cool.
The rest of my
Cool
week
and
has
terrifying.
It was everything was worth it except the Sugar Shack. I would not drive 15 hours again to stay in the Sugar Shack. But besides that, everything else, I would drive 15 hours to see those people and play with them again, because it was a great time.
That's cool.
All right. Okay, you want to get into our questions?
Yes.
So this week, Melody and I prepared some questions. 15 questions. We'll see if we'll get through them all. But yeah, 15 questions, and they're just kind of fun questions, alternating between flesh and blood related and non-flesh and blood related, just to you guys can get to know us a little bit better. I think they're fun. I'm excited. All right. So the first question is, what is your favorite set?
My favorite set is Uprising. 110%.
I think my favorite set is also Uprising. I have played with it many times. Yeah, I did my pre-release Vegas, Ohio. I really, really love it. Before Uprising, it was Tales of Aria, because I think the artwork is stunning. I really like how the overall theme of it is, and I loved the talents that they introduced in Aria. But Uprising definitely takes the cake for me. I love it.
Yeah, and dragons. Like, I love the dragons, but I just think there's solid 3 heroes.
Yeah, I think
beautiful art.
Heroes are all solid. I love the like fire and ice theme that is going on here. It makes me happy.
Yeah, it does. Same here. So I'm going to ask the second question. Maybe I know the answer. If it was snack food, I'd know the answer. Elaine, what is your favorite food?
Yeah. I feel like most people, or everyone's going to expect me to say pickles, which is like my favorite snack is, I love pickles. But like overall favorite food, it might be sushi, or just like hot carbs and cheese. I've always said any form of hot carbs and cheese I love, which is a guilty pleasure for sure. Do not just make your diet hot carbs and cheese.
That's a heart attack waiting to happen.
Yeah, for sure. But it's so good. Okay, Melody, what's your favorite food?
I'm either really simple. I love peanut butter on toast with jam. Now, when I say jam, I don't mean jelly. I mean like raspberry jam.
Okay.
I could eat that for days. I could live on that. It's just something that I really like. Or Peking duck.
Oh, I had Peking duck when I was in Beijing.
Yum, I love Peking duck.
Yeah.
So, I'm either real fancy or I'm like really easy to please. Either way, I'm happy.
Okay. Question number 3 is, what is your favorite TCG accessory that you own? Like in terms of like sleeves, deck box, dice, etc.
Oh, I have a really cool deck box that I really like. I'm actually waiting for, what's his name? The Professor. So he released a deck box on Kickstarter that I backed. So although that's not quite with me yet, I'm really looking forward to that. And I've got a Dex box, DEX, and it's great because you can put like slabbed cards in there. You can put your whole deck in there. You can put your die in there, and it's just like a little box.
Yeah.
Instead of carrying around, a bag of dice, and then another box and another box. So that would probably be my favorite accessory right now. What about you?
So my favorite, I really like the Game Genix deck boxes. Yeah. Um, my first deck box. So like when I started playing the game, I was like, everything has to match, and I immediately just went for like pink sparkly, and I got like the Game Genix. I think it's just like the singular watchtower. So yeah, you like open it up, pull out your deck, and it also has like a little like drawer
Tray?
for your dice. Yeah, a tray for your dice. I really like that. That was my first like deck box. I think it'll always hold a special place in my heart because now I have like
We'll have
the
to
double ones.
bring our accessories and show them because we don't have Game Genix in New Zealand.
Really?
Yeah, so when I'm talking about Dex Protection, I think they're a worldwide brand, but I've looked for Game Genix because I know your folders are Game Genix, right?
My folders are Game
Yeah.
Genix. Everything, pretty much everything I own is Game.
Yeah, we don't have that brand, so I'd love to see that.
When you come for Worlds.
Maybe Worlds, hopefully. James White, where's Worlds going to be? Is it going to be in Hawaii or is it going to be in LA? Where's it going to be?
I don't know, but I'll go anywhere. So,
Yes.
I mean, I just drove 15 hours to play the
You will
TNC
go
event,
anywhere.
so.
Will you go to New Zealand though, Elaine?
I would. I would
Okay.
love for them to have like a New Zealand, but
hopefully something will happen here. Okay, next question. What is your favorite non-flesh and blood hobby? Do you have one?
Yeah. Flesh and blood is definitely my favorite hobby, but like I guess painting would be my go-to, which now everything I paint seems to be flesh and blood related. But it counts, painting or just board games. I really like board games. How
You
about
can
yourself?
ask me because I'm
Yes.
like seriously, when I'm not working, I live and breathe flesh and blood. So if I'm not on Twitter, I'm looking stuff up or I'm talking to people. Now I'm in our Discord and I'm playing TTS or I'm on Felt Table. I'm a little bit obsessive. So I don't know. I'm kind of all or nothing when it comes to hobbies. Like I do play board games, but I've just shifted house and I need more people to play with. So that sounds real nerdy and
No,
sad.
I'm like the same way. Like I almost like hyper fixate on whatever my hobby is, right? Like, but before I played Flesh and Blood, like my hobbies were a little bit more like I would play board games like 3 times a week, have friends over, and if those nights I didn't have friends over, like I'd paint and stuff. And now since getting into Flesh and Blood, it's like, no, this is all I do. No, this is
sorry, board
life.
game friends. Unless you play Flesh and Blood. Sorry.
Sorry. No, and it's true. That Flesh and Blood is like all that I do. But I enjoy other things. But
I'm glad you do. Just that everybody,
I'm
not that much of a nerd. Yeah. But like I do, it's the connecting part as well. Like I'm talking to people, and trying to build the community and the community here in New Zealand with women and stuff like that. So while it is still related to flesh and blood, like it's creating relationships and making friends and stuff. So
yeah. Okay, so question number 5. Do you have any tournament superstitions, like things you do for good luck before you play, tournament rituals, something like that?
No, I don't.
Really?
No, but I believe you do. Do you?
Yeah, I do. So I like it's pickles. I have to have like some kind of pickle snack or pickles, some kind of pickle flavored something or actual pickles like on the day of my tournaments, or I just don't think I'm gonna perform well because I don't know, it just became a thing where it was like, oh, the first I like grew up as a cheerleader and stuff, and there was like things where it's like, oh, I did this and I did really well, so now I'm going to do this every time. You know, everyone has
Okay.
their lucky socks or whatever. Well, yeah, so the Battle Hard in Dallas was like my first big tournament, and I had pickles actually way back to my very first time playing CC. The first pro quest I went to, there was like a pub next door, and I did eat pickles because I got a spicy chicken sandwich, and I was like, extra pickles please. And then I brought pickles to the Battle Hard in Dallas, and then I brought pickles to New Jersey, and ever since then, like any big tournament, I'm like, if I don't have the pickles, it's not gonna work out.
I think every episode we're going to end up talking about pickles. I feel
No,
like this is a
no,
thing.
no.
I feel like
We
this is a
could go
thing.
without it, but this one, it just happens to be. All right.
Next question. What is your favorite holiday? Is that favorite holiday destination, or is this like your
No,
dream holiday?
no, like Christmas or
Oh,
whatever.
okay.
See, we don't use the
Math,
word
you.
holiday as like vacation here. That's like,
Oh, okay. So, what's your favorite holiday time of year, Elaine?
yeah, yeah. Mine was probably Halloween. I
Of
love
course, because
like,
you dress up.
yeah, because I love to dress up. I love planning and making out costumes, which is why I enjoy cosplay so much, because it's like Halloween all year round. But I also just love the scary, spooky side of it too. I like
Dark
it's
side.
like the only time of year where it's like I'm constantly in the mood to watch scary movies and do spooky things and carve
So,
pumpkins.
we don't really have Halloween in our country.
Yeah, I would. So
It's
this
only
is
become a thing recently, really, maybe the last 5 years. So even that we don't get people or kids that trick or treat, or at work, some workplaces people might dress up, but you don't have you won't walk down the street and see houses decorated,
yeah.
and I've never seen that.
I didn't
But I think it's
celebrate
definitely fun
it
to dress up.
growing up. Like my family did not celebrate Halloween, so I was like, but that's not normal. I was a weird kid. Um, but then in my adult life, when I was like, oh, I can actually dress up and celebrate Halloween. I can't go trick or treating because I'm an adult, but it's
Weird.
yeah.
Turn up with your treat bag.
What holiday time of year is your favorite time of year though? Any holidays that y'all have that we don't celebrate? I'm sure there are
I
tons.
definitely Christmas,
Oh,
because
really?
Christmas in New Zealand is our summer. And so, normally in New Zealand, people finish up work probably the week before Christmas, or maybe 2 weeks before, depending. And usually people maybe take 3 or 4 weeks off. And so we just enjoy a New Zealand summer, which is a lot of beaches, a lot of barbecues, a lot of eating and friends and whānau. Whānau means family in Māori. So definitely, I have many, many amazing Christmas memories of being a child and hanging out with family and son, and yeah,
That's
definitely
so
my favorite time of year.
it's like that's so strange because here, Christmas is our winter. It doesn't
Mm.
get very cold in Louisiana, so most of the time it's still like 80 degrees Fahrenheit, which I don't know what that is
We
for you.
tried doing this the other day,
Yeah,
right?
I would say I could Google it real quick, but that's pretty
It's
warm.
still really
That's
warm.
warm, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's just because I live in the deep South Louisiana, so it's like, but still in my mind, I don't associate like Christmas with that type of weather. I still associate it with being very cold, even though usually it is not very cold,
Yeah.
specifically
It's
where I
probably part of
live.
our summer. Those are probably like some of our summer heats that you're talking about in winter.
Yeah, yeah. That's just because I live in very very warm place, but it's still, yeah, that associating Christmas with like summer is such a strange concept for me on this side of the world.
I
But
mean, for
that's
me, even associating it to winter is like, no,
it's
because we don't take, in America, you guys take all of summer off, right? Is that how it works? Like it's high school and
Yeah, so in high school you get June and July off.
mm,
At least where I live. Sometimes it's different. Like my friend she lives in Connecticut, and she always had like I finished in high school. I graduated, like I was done with school on May 3rd, I think, and then she didn't
mm,
finish till like June 16th. But then I started school
oh,
in like beginning of August, and she started at like the end of August. So sometimes it's weird, but yeah,
mm,
you get like a 2 month break no matter where you
that's
are.
awesome.
Okay, so what is your most prized possession in your flesh and blood collection?
There's, I don't have just one, Elaine. This is a really tough question. I don't know. Like I love artist proofs. I don't know. I don't think we've ever talked about artist proofs. So I collect artist proofs, and there's a cards from the artists that they sketch, and sometimes they number them,
Mm-hmm.
and I love them because it's a little piece of flesh and blood that's unique from the artists, and they do some incredible sketches. So I would say, as a collection, that would be my prized possession collection. I don't have just one thing. What about you?
Mine, sorry, mine would be when I was in. Okay, so I did the Icelander cosplay, right, with Steve Argyle's art, um, in New Jersey, and
Mm-hmm.
then he was in New Jersey, and I did not get to meet him. I was just like too busy running around. The line was always too long. Um, and I was like really, really bummed because I had the cold foil Icelander that I had James
Mm.
White sign, and I wanted to get Steve to sign it also, and I didn't. So when I heard he was going to be in Vegas, I was like, oh, I have to get this signed in Vegas, and I forgot it. It was like as soon as the plane's wheels touched the ground, I was
No.
like, I did not bring my cold foil Icelander, and I don't have an Icelander for Steve to sign. And I was really upset, and I went in the middle of the calling. I did the cosplay contest, and then right after, I still had like 7 minutes on the clock before the next round was going to start. So I was like, oh, I want to. Steve had no line. The only person out there was actually Flake. And I was like, okay, well, there's no line to go meet Steve. And I don't have anything for him to sign, but I'm just going to run over there and, tell him that I really love his art and blah, blah, blah. So I walked up, interrupted Flake's moment with Steve, said, get out of my way. And I was like, listen, Steve, like, I really love all your artwork. Like, I am an artist myself, and you inspire me. Your art to me, it really personally speaks to me. And he was like, oh, like, we started talking. And he was like, thank you so much. Like, that means a lot. And I was in my Icelander cosplay, not the cosplay based off of his art, but the Uprising cosplay. But
Mm,
still, he recognized me as like the person who does the Icelander cosplay, and he's like, "You did my cosplay in New Jersey, and I didn't get to meet you." And I was like, "Oh my gosh, yes, I did." So we talked for a while. He's like, "How long do you have?" And I'm like, "Well, like 5 minutes at this point before the next round starts." And he's like, "Okay, don't go anywhere." So he sat down and he pulls out just like a blank like token equipment card and
mm.
starts drawing on it, and I just immediately started bawling, crying. I was like, so
Oh.
he because I was like, I had told him like I wanted to get him to sign my Icelander, and I forgot it, and I don't have the
Mm.
card with me, but I have this picture on my phone. So he drew this,
Oh, that's so sweet. Have
and
you not shared? You should not shared that on
I don't
Twitter.
think I don't think I did. I don't know. I need to.
No,
And I just like the whole time I was crying, I
that's
was like,
amazing.
I ran back. It went a little over time. I like hugged him. I cried. He was like, "You're doing great things." I was like, "No, you are." And then I ran to my
No,
next match.
you are.
I was like, I would love to sit and chat forever, but like I am playing in the middle of the calling right now, and the next match is starting. So I had to like run. I got back. I was late. I was a minute and 30 minutes late to my match, and I was still crying. The judge was like,
Mm.
listen, sorry, I have to give you an IP4. And I was like, okay, yep, I understand. That's fine. Do not regret it. And my teammates, because this was a team event, my teammates were like, where were
Oh.
you? I'm like, look, Steve Argyle just drew this to me, and I'm still like crying. And my opponent was like, that is one of the coolest things. He was so nice. He was like, that's one of the coolest things I've ever seen. Judge, like, am I allowed to overrule her IP4? And the judge was like, you know what? Do whatever you guys want. I'll walk away. So
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
So it was just like one of the most, I think, special moments I've ever had in the community. I was like, wow, I just can't
And
even.
you're an artist as well, right? So you're
Yeah,
connecting on a
it was
few levels.
awesome. So I not only did I get that, but I got just like this great story, this compassion
Yes.
from my opponent, and it was a very special thing for me. So that's probably the most prized possession in my
Oh yeah,
collection.
that definitely tops my collection.
No,
What a cool story.
I was as it was happening, I was like, this is my new favorite. Like this is my new favorite thing in my Flesh and Blood collection. It was like in the moment I had already knew, like nothing. I don't think anything could top this. But yeah.
Okay. So Elaine, what is the number one place that you would like to travel to?
I'd say New Zealand, honestly.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I've always wanted to go to New Zealand. I've always been like a big Lord of the Rings fan. And
Oh,
it's
yes.
also just like one of the most gorgeous places. Um, and then this game has just made me want to go even more. I would travel to New Zealand for Flesh and Blood in a heartbeat. I'd sell my house. Not that I own a house.
I was just about to say you own your own house. That's really
No,
awesome.
I don't even own a house to sell.
Okay.
I'm just being dramatic. What's your favorite? What's your number one place to travel to, Melody?
I would love to travel to Croatia.
Ooh.
Um, I'm a big Game of Thrones fan, and I'd like to go and visit some of the sets and places that they filmed it over there. And also, it's a beautiful country. It's an incredibly beautiful country. But
So
yeah,
is your country.
it is. I should probably look in my own backyard first, but I bet I've traveled a little bit in New Zealand. There are many beautiful places. So when you come, we can go visiting lots of places.
Okay, that sounds like fun. Yeah, we'll make
Yeah.
a whole vacation out of it.
Yes.
Okay. If there were a Flesh and Blood hero created about yourself, what would the hero ability be, and would it have a talent? Would it have a special talent?
Wow. This is, oh, you know what? We get, Elaine shared the questions before, guys, but I have no idea. I would want to be Runeblade.
Mm-hmm.
I love Runeblade. Purely because I love Asura as well. Talent and hero. I have no idea. I need more time to think about this. This is, I don't know. Other than dark, Runeblade, kick-ass female, I don't know. What about you, Elaine? That's not a very
So
good answer. So
I'd want to be like a ice earth warrior or something. But when I like Oldham, but like a warrior, but like not like
like an Oldham.
fatigue, more aggro. But
Oh yes.
so when I was trying to figure out what my hero ability would be, I was like thinking about this before the show, and I asked I asked my boyfriend Luke. I was like, if I were a Flesh and Blood hero, what would my hero ability be? And he was like, it would be like Oldham, like he would have a defense reaction, which I would be a female character, but she's like, he was like, it would be pay one, throw a pickle at your opponent, prevent 3 damage.
I knew it was going to be pickle related.
It has to be at this point, right? It's only appropriate.
Yes.
Pay one,
Oh,
throw in a
I
pickle
love
at
it,
your
Elaine.
opponent, prevent 3
Yep,
damage.
that is awesome. So yeah, I'm not sure. I'll have to think about that. I like yours. I like your ability. So next question. What is your favorite TV show?
Right now, it's The Boys. Flake told me to watch it, and I've become addicted. If you haven't watched it, it's really fun. It's like superheroes, but like what the world would be like and look like, and how the superheroes would be if they were real in today's society. Um, so it's really good. It's really good. But also, New Girl is like my go-to comfort show. I think I've seen it like 11 times, probably all the way through.
I've heard of The Boys because two of the two main actors are New Zealanders.
Yeah, Az
And
from Go Again Gaming also has like he's Aslander, which is like a
he is
character from the
Aslander.
show.
Yes. But I've never heard of the girls
New
before.
Girls.
New
New
Girl. No.
Girl. No. It's funny. It's just like a funny, like almost like Friends type of show. That's just kind of like if I just want to be happy or am I cleaning the house and need something on in the background, I can just put it on because I've seen it so many times. But right now
Like
it's the
Friends.
right now it's The Boys. It's a really good show. What about yourself, Melody?
Uh my favorite show of all time would definitely be Game of Thrones. I read the books first
I've
before
never
the series
seen
came
it.
out. What?
So I've seen the last episode
Elaine?
ever because I am not one to miss a party. And my friends were having a watch party for the last episode, and so I lied and I was like, "Yeah, I've seen it," just so I could go to the party. But that's the only episode I've ever seen.
Why did you are you not into fantasy? You're clearly into fantasy. Flesh and
Yeah,
blood,
I
gaming.
don't know. I just never watched it because I I don't know. And I don't know. I just never watched it. There's like I
I'm
don't
shocked.
watch a whole lot of TV, honestly. And most of the time I just watched when I watch TV, I watch something I've like already seen before or know. Or me and my 8 siblings, we watch a lot of the shows together. Like we all like my brother started watching the show Vikings, and then I got
Oh
into
yes,
it. So
Vikings
then
is
like
epic.
all 8 of us just started watching it, and I love Vikings is also one of my favorite shows. But then no one ever got into Game of Thrones, so there was never any like push to watch it. And then Blake got me into The Boys, so I've got or my brothers are now into The Boys, and I've been trying to get my sisters into The Boys too, because we all kind of just like watch the same shows. And none of them ever watched it, and I just never watched it. Oops.
That's sad. You're missing out. You need to just like have a little taster, a couple of episodes.
Well, the thing is that now it's like if I would like to watch it, but it seems like a very big commitment at this point because there's so
It
many.
doesn't have to be. I know there's like 7 seasons and you can kind of break it up. And if you get addicted, then it's over because you're gonna want to like binge watch.
Yeah,
You will
exactly. See, that's the
absolutely
thing is
want
that
to.
I am an addict at heart now. Not really.
Addictive personality. I mean,
Yeah,
same. I get it.
like but yeah, so if I watch it and I like it, then I'm gonna binge watch it, and then none of you will hear from me again until it's finished.
Because the thing with Game of Thrones is it's so unexpected, and I think for a lot of people watching the first two, no, actually probably the first half of season one, getting to the end of it, you expect certain things to happen, which are like would normally happen within movies or series, like
Yeah,
the goodies always win and, the baddies
yeah,
get
yeah.
overthrown, but not in this series. Your favorite characters, you better hold on for dear life because they're probably going to die.
Oh, okay. Well,
They're going to
now
die. And, and that's so different. We're so accustomed to the goodies always winning or good overthrowing evil. And that's one thing that I love about it. And they're very strong characters, very strong female characters, great storylines, lots of lore. It's fantastic.
okay. I'll try and watch it. I'll try.
Try.
I'll give it a shot
Just
before
like
I
one
before I come to
episode.
New Zealand. I'll watch it. I have to
Yes.
promise.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what is your favorite playmat?
I only have like 3. Um, is
But
it
just
like one I own or just
no,
one?
no, not necessarily one you own, because mine's definitely not one I own. But
Oh, okay, cool. Well, then it's definitely Swarming Gloomvale. I
yeah, that one's
love
really
that
beautiful.
playmat, and it was at draft, I think, last week, and somebody had one of those playmats. I'm like, where did you get that from? Because you could only get them from the States, and I think they paid an exorbitant amount of money to purchase it because a lot of people bought them and then resold them for a lot of money.
Yeah.
Very envious. It's just an incredible piece of art and so beautiful. That's my favorite. What about you?
Mine, the playmat that I would give my kidney for is the Nourishing Emptiness. I want it so bad.
Oh,
And
really?
every time I see someone who has it, I'm like, what do you want for that? And they never want to give it away. I actually sat down on my LGS to play one of my friends, Brennan. We sat down to play our game, and I rolled out my playmat, which was the Dragons one. It was either the Dragons one from
The Three Dragons?
Vegas. Yeah, the Three Dragon one from Las Vegas, or by Fab TCG Cards one. Shout out to Jim. It's my favorite playmat to play on. So I like rolled it out, and then he rolled out his. It was the Nourishing Emptiness, and I was like, Brennan, where did you get that? He's like, oh, well, you didn't come to the pre-release at Man of War, but this guy was giving it away, so I traded him. Like, and I was like, I missed my only opportunity to get it. That is like the one playmat I wanted. If anyone has one, and I will.
I'll remember that because I've seen them go up for sale on our buy and sell pages in New Zealand.
Yeah, I really love that playmat. That or the
What's the history? Why do you love it so much?
Well, that is into that's my answer to question number 15, which we can just talk about. Because question 15 is, what is your favorite part of Flesh and Blood lore? And the Nourishing Emptiness card is like, I don't know. Red Zone Road did a really good video about the lore behind it. You can go find that if you want a more accurate, in-depth description than what I'm gonna say. But it's just because if you look in the background of Nourishing Emptiness, you know, the girl sitting there is like a fortune teller, and then it's like the deaths of the heroes. It's just, the art, I think, is beautiful. The overall aesthetic of the colors is like captivating to me, and I just love the art. And then the lore behind it is like I eat it up. I love it. Everything about it. I want that playmat.
All right, we'll find you that playmat. We'll get you that playmat, Elaine.
I think I just like the overall lore is really cool in Flesh and Blood to go like read on the websites, but I love when I know the lore behind specific cards and I'm playing them, and every time I play it down I am reminded of that lore, and it just draws me more into like the whole Flesh and Blood world, and I love it. It makes me very excited. So what's your favorite part of the Flesh and Blood lore?
Oh, I don't know heaps and heaps about the lore, but something that I'm really interested in is Viserai's history before he had the Ark Knight, became the Ark Knight, and washed up on the shores of by the Demonastery, because he used to be a warrior in Volkul. Was it a warrior? Or he was part of the, I don't know, he wasn't a guard, but that was his life.
Yeah, he was
definitely
like
from
something.
Volkul.
Yeah,
it was something. Yeah, before he obviously, I don't know how he died, but then he washed up and then he became Runeblade. So I'd be really keen to dig in and find out. Hopefully, they unearth some more about his history. You know, did he have a family? Was he a good guy?
I would like to learn more about his lore too, because Viserai, he's your favorite hero, but I've only played him a few times, and so like it's the heroes that I really love and play a lot that like I learn their lore, but I want to like learn all of everyone's lore, you know, because it's so interesting.
And I think even now, like with Icelander, trying to, her and Kano, brother and sister, are they related? What's going on there? What is the history? Like, right. I think this dynasty, this next set, hopefully we get a bit more lore to unpack.
They do such a good job with the lore too. I love them.
They do. Yeah.
Okay, the last question, which this is a question I stole from Flake in Vegas. He asked everyone this question. And so I already have an answer to it, and everyone made fun of me for my answer, but I want to know what your answer is, because the question is,
what's the question?
If you could be the best at anything in the world, what would you be the best at?
Okay, so is this what? Oh,
Any like if there's one skill or talent or whatever that you could be the best at, what would you want to be just the best at, really good at?
is it? Can it be a?
Yeah, it could be
Oh,
anything.
it can be anything.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of like if you had a power, right? Like if you had a kind of superpower, or
I
if you had
okay,
an
so like
ability.
Flakes was like I think he said guitar, you know? Like
Oh,
I would be the
okay.
best like guitar player in the world. Um
You tell me yours,
and
and then because
Tommy
I'm
Fresh,
not.
no, because I was saving mine. Tommy Fresh said the best at making fried rice. Um
What?
I think like Brian, I think Majin Bay said piano playing. It's been a while since Vegas, and I might have had a drink or two when we had this conversation. So I'm like hoping I'm getting everyone's right. Um, yeah. So like one like skill or talent, like what would you want to
Skill,
do?
talent. Oh, I don't know. Maybe singing.
Yeah, mine,
It's pretty.
mine,
What's
and I
yours?
don't
It's
know.
got something to do with
No,
pickles.
it actually doesn't. Everyone made fun of me in Vegas, and they were like, "That's the most random thing you could have said." But I said glass blowing, just because I think glass blowing is really cool. It's really cool.
Okay. Hey, look, no, we're not going to shame you because you're one of
I don't
the
understand why
best
this is.
glass blower in the world.
Yeah, why not? Glass blowing is
Actually, no,
so.
no.
If anyone out there who listens to this has any experience in glass blowing and wants to teach me how to glass blow and become the best in the world, please message me on Twitter, on Discord, on anything. I would love it. I would love it. I think glass blowing is so cool. I watch like
That's
Blown
that
Away.
series.
Yeah, Blown Away on
Is that a
Netflix.
series like a?
It's like I love competition shows. But there's like a glass blowing competition show on Netflix I also love to
I've
watch.
seen that, and that is actually incredible.
Yeah, the
That I
artwork
love
is
that show.
so
Yes,
cool, and
yes. So I
and
think I'm going to rewind. I don't want to be a singer. I want to be the best artist in the world. And let's put a like big umbrella over that because that
yeah,
can be
that's
artists like painting artists. That can be sculpture. That can be everything. So that's my talent.
yeah, Melody just took
Yep.
the entire art field from everyone.
Maybe it includes glass blowing. I don't know. But glass blowing is, yeah, I've seen that series. They do some amazing things and it's so technical.
Yeah, and then, like you can like I don't know, in the series, people like I don't know. Sometimes people like sculpt with it rather than like blow it. Some
Yes.
people like blow it, and there's just like so many different ways to do it. It seems, and I think
Mm.
it's really cool. I'm a big like I love the going to Renaissance festivals. I actually really miss Renaissance Fair, and usually it's around Halloween, which is another reason why Halloween is my favorite holiday. Because I love going to Renaissance festivals. I will travel for them. If you are also, I always say, if you're listening and you have a really cool Renaissance festival, I will come travel to it because please let me know.
What
I'm
is a Renaissance festival?
so like I grew up going to them. We go every single year, like to the point where I know all the workers at my local Renaissance festival. Um, it's just like it's exactly what it sounds like. It's you dress up. Well, you don't have to dress up. I always dress up because I love costumes. So you dress up how like in like Renaissance garb. I usually dress as
Oh,
like a
wow.
fairy or like some. I usually dress as some kind of fairy along the lines of that. But then you go and it's just like everyone's dressed up. There's a glass blowing booth. I love watching the glass blowing. There's like jousting going on. There's like you get the
Wow.
turkey leg, which is like uh they have like jugglers. I love the juggling shows. They have like comedy shows, but it just looks like an old Renaissance town. It's usually around some kind of lake or something. They have like rides, which are just like usually you sit in a barrel and a strong, hefty man pushes you around. or something like that.
Rolls you down the hill.
Yeah, rolls you down the hill. It's always some like strong, hefty man like just pushing you. It's usually the ride. But what were we even talking about? Oh,
I
glass
don't know.
blowing. Yeah, I
Oh, my
love
camera
going.
keeps moving.
I love
Oh
going.
my god. Oh my god. I'm sorry. Okay,
We're
let's
leaving
make
that
that
in.
work.
That's what.
Okay, look.
You just see the top of your head.
Did you notice it kept moving through the entire thing and I was trying to shift the freaking
I didn't
thing.
even notice. No. Yeah,
No, it did. Because then I ended up like it was just my head and I'm like, oh my god, I need to move it.
and it's like winter over there, so y'all. Nice.
Yeah, it's actually not that cold. Not as cold as last time we recorded. It's freezing.
Kind of like stormy today, so it's not that hot. The humidity's high, but let's see, what is the temperature here in Louisiana today? It's only 91, which is pretty cool because it's been in the hundreds for the last while. But yeah, the Renaissance Festival is what got me into glass blowing, and I think it's cool. All right.
It's 55 here. 55 Celsius is your compared
Okay,
to...
that's not that cold. Wait, 55 Celsius or Fahrenheit?
Yes, Celsius.
Fahrenheit, Celsius. Oh, I have no clue
Celsius.
how
So
cold that is.
It's 13 Fahrenheit.
Oh, no, that's real. I thought you meant 55. I thought you did the time, not the time. I thought you did the conversion. We're saying, anyway, that's.
No. So it's 13 degrees Celsius, which in Fahrenheit is 50. Oh, fuck, I don't know. But it's cold.
Okay. I'll take your word for it.
Embarrassing. Okay. All right. Shall we wrap up and should we give them a teaser for what we've got coming up with guests and stuff?
Yes. Okay, so thank you guys for bearing with us through that episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it. We tried to make it just a little bit more fun, relaxed. Our first episode was introducing the channel to you guys, and the second episode we wanted to kind of introduce ourselves a little bit more to you guys. So I hope that you did that. I hope that you enjoyed it. But Pitch Perfect has a lot of exciting things lined up for the month of July. This is going to be our month of guests, so we're trying to get a different guest on every week, and we have a lot of exciting people, humans, amazing people to bring to you guys.
We do. So that's something to look forward to for us. And there's also, we've got events coming up. We've got Battle Harden coming up at the end of the month in New Zealand. There's another pool party event happening somewhere in the States in July as well. that we're going to come back and we're going to talk about.
Yeah.
So.
And yeah, we have Road to Nationals starting up in July and skirmish season. So it should be a very fun, exciting month in Flesh and Blood. And we hope that Pitch Perfect can play some part in that excitement for you guys. But yeah, that's all. I think that's all we have for you guys right now.
It is. All right. Thanks for bearing with us. Well, not bearing with us. Thank you for joining us for our second episode.
Bye.
Ka kite. Bye.